have two important definitions, range and null space of a linear transformation. Suppose T from V to W is a linear transformation. V and W, they are both vector spaces over the same field. Then the set of all images of V under this linear transformation T is known as range of T. And the collection of all the vectors in V whose image under this T is 0 is known as the null space or the kernel of this linear transformation T. And these both are subspaces. Range is the subspace of the range set, this W set, and this null space, this is a subspace of this domain set V. So this I have left as an exercises to check for you. Number of elements in the range set is known as the rank of linear transformation, and the number of elements in the null set or the set of kernels is known as the nullity of linear transformation T. Next, we have an important theorem known as rank nullity theorem or Sylvester law of nullity. This theorem states that if T from V to W, where V and W are vector spaces, is a linear transformation and let dimension of V is n, then rank of T and nullity of T, their sum, this will give you dimension of this linear this vector space V, this set, domain set. This you have to remember. It is important for the numerical purpose also. So let us try to prove this. Let us suppose nullity of T is P. That is, there are P elements whose image is 0. So dimension of this null set n of T, this is given to be P. So since dimension of this set is P, therefore this set NT has P elements in basis. So if it has P elements, let me say B1 is equal to B1, B2 up to VP. This is basis of this null space of T. Then now these elements belong to this set NT. Now as per definition of NT, as per definition of null space, these all elements will be having a 0 image. So image of these all elements is 0. Now recall extension theorem that we have studied earlier. What was that? It stated that any extension theorem, I am writing here, any linearly independent set in a vector space V can be extended to be basis of V. So since this is a basis, it will be linearly independent. So we can extend this set B1 to set, let us say B2, which will be a basis of set V, vector space V. So now let us assume dimension of V is n. So how many elements I have to add? I have to add n minus p elements. So this is up to Vn. So now this is a basis of vector space V. Now what we will do? We will form another set. Let us say B3. This set will be images of all these elements, the remaining elements that we have added in this set. So what we will try to prove, we will prove that this set B3 is the basis of set, this rank set, this set RT, range of T. B3 is the basis of range of T. Now in order to prove this to be a basis, what we need to prove, we will prove two things. B3 is linearly independent And another thing, B3 spans this range of T. This we need to prove. Now first of all to prove B3 linear independent, let us consider linear combination of these elements. Let me write AP plus 1 T of VP plus 1 plus AP plus 2 T of VP plus 2, so on up to AN T of Vn is equal to 0. This is linear combination of these elements of B3. What we need to prove in order to prove this to be linearly independent, we will prove that all these coefficients are actually 0. All these scalars are 0. So now what does the definition of linear transformation say? Linear transformation says you can either keep the scalars here or you can move them inside, and also you can write them separately or you can write them combinedly. So I am taking the scalars inside and then combining these. This will become AP plus 1 VP plus 1 AP plus 2 VP plus 2 and so on AN. Now let us recall the definition of null space. What was null space? Null space is collection of those elements whose images under T is 0. Now this is an element whose image under T is 0. So what does that imply? That implies that this element would belong to, this implies that this element will belong to null space of linear transformation. So if it belongs to null space of linear transformation, let me call this as V. Let us name this element as V. So if V belongs to null space of T, then V can be written as linear combination of elements of B1, because B1 is basis of null space of T. So let us see how to write it as we proved that this V is belonging to null space of T. Now this B1, it is the basis of null space of T. So this V can be written as linear combination of these elements, and we wrote B as B1, B1, V1, B2, V2 up to BP, VP, where BI's are the elements from the field. So now we are going to compare this equation and this equation. This is the value of V. This is also value of V. So this would imply that AP plus 1 VP plus 1 plus AP plus 2 VP plus 2, so on up to AN VN is equal to B1 V1 B2 V2, so on up to BP VP. Alright, so what does it imply? It implies, so if we take all the terms with AI's on the other side, so this implies that all these coefficients AP plus 1, AP plus 2 and so on up to AN, these all are 0, and all the BI's, they are also 0. Why? Okay, now look at this equation. If we take the terms on the other side, it will be linear combination of V1 up to VP and P plus 1. So these are linear combinations from V1 to Vn. Now what was this set called? All the elements from V1 to Vn. This set was called V2, and it is the basis of this vector space V. Since it is a basis, so it has to be linearly independent. Therefore these all coefficients has to be 0. So we have all the AI's, AP plus 1 to AN's, these to be 0. Now recall from where they appeared. These AP plus 1, these all came to picture when we wrote linear combination of these elements, right? So it means this this set B3 is linearly independent. We wrote that these were the elements of set B3. This was the linear combination of elements of B3, and we just proved that all these coefficients are 0. So this would imply that B3 is a linearly independent set. Now we have to prove two things. We have to prove B3 is linearly independent and linear span of B3 is equal to range of T. So now we have to prove the second part. First thing you can observe this B3. This is basis of this B3. These are the elements. So these are the images of elements of V. So this obviously belong to range set of T. So this B3 is contained in RT. Therefore, their linear span would obviously be contained in RT. Now we have to prove the reverse. To prove that linear this rank of T, it is contained in B3. What we usually do, we take a random element, let us say X, from this range set, and we prove that it belongs to B3. So in order to do so, let us know X is from range set. So it means X is actually from V such that it has some now what is the definition of range set? It is the collection of all those elements who have images in T. So there will always exist some y such that y is equal to tx. Only then this x will belong to range of T. So now since x is from V and we already have a basis of V, this was V2 is the basis of V. So we can write our x as linear combination of these elements A1, let me write alpha, A we have already used, alpha to V2 and so on up to alpha P Vp plus alpha P plus 1 Vp plus 1 up to alpha n Vn, where alpha i's are scalars or they belong to field. Alright, now let us take linear transformation on both the sides. So T of x would be scalars come out. So taking linear transformation on both sides, as we know the scalars would come out and the sum will be separated. So I am writing directly. So look, so what we have done. Now observe what were these VI's, V up to, let me write up to VP. These all were the basis elements of null space T. This V1 up to VP, this is the basis of null space of T. Now if it is basis of null space of T, so it means their images will be 0. So all this quantity up to this VP term will all be 0. These all will go to 0 and we will be left with the terms from P plus 1 onwards. So what we have done, we have taken a x from range space of T and we wrote its by transforming this x, now we called it as y, its image as linear combination of these elements of this, what were these T Vp plus 1 up to Tvn, these were the elements of B3 if you can recall. So this was we left with proof. So this implies that range of T is contained in this set B3. It implies B3 is basis of range set. And what is dimension of this range set? Can you observe how many elements are there in set B3? This is your set B3. How many elements you have? You have n minus p elements, right? So dimension of this is n minus p. And so what we have obtained? We have obtained, what was n? N is dimension of V. What is P? P is dimension of null space of T. So take it on the other side. We have proved that dimension of null space of T plus dimension of range space of T is equal to dimension of V. It implies rank of T plus nullity of T is equal to dimension of V. That's